Shelves are clearing out fast, and some Americans are having flashbacks to the buying chaos of 2020. But this time, it's not new laws or civil unrest fueling the rush. The latest surge is being driven by economic policy, specifically massive new tariffs announced by Donald Trump. In this video, we're diving into how these trade measures are shaking up the gun world and triggering a fresh wave of buying before prices go up or inventory disappears altogether. Trump has slapped an enormous 245% tariff on goods from China, added a flat 10% tariff on most other countries, and signaled that he's willing to go even harder if any nation dares to retaliate. That's put a major squeeze on materials like steel, aluminum, optics components, and all kinds of imported gun parts. At first, many assumed it would just hit cheap accessories from overseas, but the reality is much bigger. Some firearms that depend on foreign-made parts, things like rails, barrels, or internals, are already creeping up in price, and more hikes seem inevitable. Gun shop owners across the country say customers aren't just picking up a pistol or a single rifle. Instead, they're walking out with multiple AR lowers, crates of magazines, and cases of ammunition. One big question making the rounds: if Trump backs the Second Amendment, why are his policies triggering a run on guns? The answer isn't about politics, it's about economics. Supply chain issues and the fear of import disruptions can push people into buying sprees just as quickly as new gun control proposals can. Veterans of past shortages know that once panic sets in, prices and availability become anyone's guess. This isn't about bans, at least not yet. It's about whether foreign suppliers can still afford to ship components, or if U.S. manufacturers will be forced to raise prices because their parts supply is drying up. Even gun owners who used to scoff at the idea of panic buying are now stocking up. The old saying, "buy it cheap and stack it deep," has made a big comeback. Even Trump's most devoted fans believe he supports firearm freedoms, but they also don't trust foreign markets or the next administration to keep things steady. They're grabbing guns now as a hedge against rising prices or tighter supply. That includes not only new shooters entering the scene, but also longtime gun owners whose safes are already full. And certain guns are rising to the top of the popularity list, not necessarily because they're the cheapest, but because they're smart buys in an unpredictable market. Palmetto State Armory's AR-15 has become the poster child for affordable, dependable rifles made with mostly American-sourced parts. Full rifles regularly go for between $499 and $699, depending on features or sales. Stripped lowers start around $50, making it easy for hobbyists or budget buyers to build their own rifles from the ground up. Because PSA focuses on domestic manufacturing, their guns aren't as vulnerable to the tariff fallout, at least for now. But even they could see rising costs if raw material prices climb. That's why buyers are locking in deals now. Gun shops in multiple states report PSA products selling out as soon as they hit the shelves. It's seen as the everyman's AR, and folks are buying them in multiples just in case. For buyers looking for something more unique, the Springfield Hellion is a standout. This 5.56 bullpup, built in Croatia, carries a price tag around $1,999, but its compact design and unconventional layout have earned it a loyal following. The concern, though, is that being an import, it could become harder to find or more expensive if tariffs or shipping issues hit Europe next. Springfield has acknowledged that overseas production is vulnerable, so many buyers aren't waiting. Add to that the appeal of owning a short rifle without jumping through hoops for an SBR tax stamp, and the Hellion becomes even more desirable. Several stores report limited or backordered inventory, and once rumors of new tariffs pop up, stock disappears quickly. If you want an AK-style rifle without touching Chinese or Russian imports, Zastava ZPA P-70 out of Serbia is the current frontrunner, usually priced near $1,000. This rifle is admired for its solid craftsmanship and classic AK look. With imports from China blocked and Russian arms increasingly restricted, the Serbian-built ZPAP is one of the few quality AKs still available. But it may not stay affordable forever. Speculation is growing that even neutral countries could get hit with increased tariffs. People who remember the days of $300 AKs see this as the last chance to own a proper version before prices hit $1,500 or more. When shops receive shipments, they're often gone within days. Not everyone is focused on semi-autos. The Ruger American Ranch Rifle, typically priced around $670, is getting attention from preppers, rural homeowners, and practical hunters. It's American-made and chambered in calibers like 7.62 by 39, 300 Blackout, and 223 Remington, all commonly available rounds that offer versatility and affordability. What makes the Ranch stand out is its simplicity and reliability. In a market full of tactical gear, some folks are looking for a quieter, no-nonsense rifle that doesn't rely on complex parts or foreign supply chains. Whether for defending the homestead, bagging game, or simply having a solid backup, this bolt action is seen as a smart investment. Another name that consistently pops up in these discussions is Glock, particularly the Glock 19 and Glock 17. Depending on where you shop and whether any upgrades are included, these pistols generally run between $599 and $650. While it might seem a bit ironic to some, considering Glock is an Austrian company, many of their pistols are now manufactured in the United States. The brand has built a rock-solid reputation in the law enforcement world, and that makes a real difference. If there's any overseas manufacturer poised to ride out a tariff storm, it's probably Glock. Their contracts with American police departments are massive, and with domestic production in place, they're more insulated from sudden price spikes or delays. For those wanting a dependable 9mm handgun that can fill just about any defensive role, the Glock 19 and 17 continue to be go-to choices. They've always sold well, but in today's uncertain climate, their popularity has only grown mainly because the Glock ecosystem is stable. Whether you're looking for magazines, holsters, or replacement parts, availability and compatibility are rarely an issue. Now let's pivot back to rifles. The Kel-Tec Sub 2000 Gen 3 is making waves again, priced at around $500. This unique folding carbine takes popular pistol magazines and folds in half for ultra-compact storage. Since it's made right here in the United States, it sidesteps the import tax squeeze and avoids the pistol brace controversy that's made some buyers nervous. The Gen 3 version has become a hot item for those who want a lightweight, travel-friendly rifle that feeds from Glock or Smith & Wesson mags. Even gun owners who never gave Kel-Tec a second look are starting to pay attention, especially with potential import restrictions looming over foreign-made pistol-caliber carbines. People are realizing the Sub 2000 might be their best shot at a modular, compact rifle without dealing with brace bands or waiting on delayed overseas shipments. Another solid contender flying off shelves is the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus. This American-made compact pistol typically lands around the $500 mark and is a favorite among concealed carriers. With more capacity than the original Shield and a solid track record for reliability, it appeals to new buyers and longtime gun owners alike. The Shield Plus feels like a smart investment right now, not just because of its reputation, but because of its production origins. If new restrictions hit micro-compacts or parts imports, many are betting that U.S.-made carry pistols will be the most accessible and least affected. With legal questions still hanging over brace-equipped pistols and some foreign-made compacts, many are playing it safe and locking in a Shield Plus while prices are still manageable. Then there's the IWI. tariffs 95, usually retailing between $1,799 and $1,899. Although it's manufactured in Israel, one of the few countries not currently targeted by the Trump tariffs, the global supply chain isn't immune to disruption. Whether it's shipping costs or raw materials, a lot could change. For fans of the bullpup layout, the Tavor X95 remains one of the most battle-proven, compact rifle platforms available. The combination of sleek design, field-proven performance, and potential import uncertainty is making this rifle a high-priority buy for enthusiasts. Stores in urban areas report that these rifles disappear almost instantly once they hit the shelves. Buyers aren't willing to take the risk of seeing the price jump several $100s or missing their window entirely. Let's not forget the behind-the-scenes drivers of this surge: accessories, optics, and ammunition. Red dot sights are feeling the pressure too. A huge chunk of that market, brands like Holosun and NCS Star, is built on Chinese manufacturing, and those used to be unbeatable in the under $300 range. But now, with new tariffs as high as 125% on Chinese goods, a red dot that used to cost $250 could soon be closer to $500. Some buyers have already started shifting toward American-made optics like Trijicon or EOTech, even if those carry a much steeper price tag. Meanwhile, savvy buyers who saw the storm coming grabbed Holosuns last month, with some hoping to resell them if prices spike. Dealers are saying flat out, once the current inventory is gone, the next shipment could cost significantly more. That alone is enough to convince many to stock up now. Magazines are also in the spotlight, particularly AK magazines, since a lot of them come from Eastern Europe or other foreign sources. With shipping becoming more complex and tariffs threatening to increase costs, people are starting to hoard steel mags while they still can. AR-15 mags are still mostly U.S.-produced Magpul, for instance, but the raw materials used to make them may be imported, which could drive prices up indirectly. Buying 10 or even 20 AR mags in a single go has become common again, especially among gun owners who remember the shortages of previous years. The same trend applies to Glock mags, drum mags, and other specialty options. People are grabbing them while they're still cheap and in stock. But here's the thing, this buying wave is different. It's not just about legislation or looming bans. This time, it's about trade policies, tariffs, and economic ripple effects. It's a mix of national pride, smart planning, and concern over rising costs. Whether you're planning to pick up a new AR, a basic pump shotgun, or your first sidearm, the key takeaway is this: act based on your real needs and what's available in your area. Don't panic buy, but don't sit on the fence either. Take Palmetto State Armory rifles. Their prices might hold firm a bit longer, at least until material costs climb. On the other hand, something like the Springfield Hellion or Zastava AK could get caught in the web of global shipping and pricing instability. So what's the bottom line? This current gun rush isn't being fueled by executive orders or anti-gun bills. It's a direct result of Trump's hardball tactics in global trade. Whether you agree with it or not, the effects are real, and inventory is moving fast. Some folks are rolling the dice that pricing won't spike too hard, while others aren't waiting around to find out. That's why entire racks of AR lowers or bins of ANK mags are disappearing faster than ever. So tell us, what are you seeing at your local shops or online retailers? Have you already jumped on a new pistol, rifle, or picked up a few extra mags before the prices go up? Let us know in the comments. And while you're down there, hit that like button, share the video, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching.